Welcome to your Clark's Termite and Pest Control Sentricon Training. You will need a highlighter, the Recruit HD label, the Recruit HD SDS, Sentricon supplemental labeling. Let's start with the Recruit HD label. Look in the upper left-hand corner on page 1. Recruit HD termite bait must be used in conjunction with a service provided by a pest management professional licensed by the state to apply termite control products. A durable termite bait for use in an integrated management system for protection of structures against subterranean termites. The active ingredient is Nova Flumaron 0.5%. Environmental hazards. This product is highly toxic to aquatic invertebrates and possibly to fish. Do not allow the bait or its Nova Flumaron contents to be washed into a body of water containing aquatic life, such as a pond or stream. Do not use, handle, or tamper with the bait in a manner inconsistent with this label. Directions for use. It is a violation of federal law to use this product in a manner inconsistent with its labeling. Read all directions for use carefully before applying. Storage and disposal. Do not contaminate water, food, or feed by storage or disposal. Pesticide storage. Store in original container in a dry storage area. Pesticide disposal. Product not dispersed by use of according to label directions shall be wrapped in paper and placed in a trash can. Container handling. Do not break open, cut, or remove protective wrapper from product until ready for use. General information. Recruit HD termite bait contains an insect growth regulator, IGR, Nova Flumaron that prevents successful molting and development of subterranean termites. This disruption of development causes a decline of the termite colony to the point where the colony can no longer sustain itself and is eliminated. Recruit HD is used in the Sentricon colony elimination system for prevention and elimination of subterranean termite colonies, including Coplitermes, Reticulotermes, and Herototermes species, and is intended to form the basis of an ongoing program providing structural protection against subterranean termites. Use of this termite baiting system involves the installation of Recruit HD for delivery of Nova Flumaron coupled with concurrent monitoring and baiting of the site. When Recruit HD is inspected and replenished per label instructions, it provides ongoing prevention and elimination of termite colonies. Target sites for this system can include buildings, fences, utility poles, decking, landscape plantings and trees, or other features that could be damaged by termite feeding and foraging activity. Recruit HD can be used on the inside or outside of foundation walls of crawl spaces, or through access holes made through concrete and asphalt if adequate soil is not accessible and such action is warranted. Recruit HD may be used in lieu of a pre-construction termiticides treatment or chemical barrier as a means of preventing termite infestation of new structures. Installation of Recruit HD. Install Sentricon stations around the target site at intervals not to exceed 20 feet where soil access is not restricted. If the structural foundation is known to have been previously treated with a soil-applied termiticide, do not install Sentricon stations in the soil closer than 18 inches from the foundation. Based upon the professional evaluation of the installer, install additional Sentricon stations in areas conducive to termite activity in proximity to the structure. Examples of areas to be evaluated include locations near visible termite activity, which is foraging tubes, termite-infested plants, wood, and other materials, bath traps, moist soil in shaded areas, irrigation sprinkler heads, roof downspouts and other moist areas, planting beds or other areas with plant root systems. If present, remove shrink wrap from Recruit HD. Place Recruit HD in each Sentricon station upon station installation. Recruit HD may also be placed in previously installed Sentricon stations upon removal of the existing monitoring device or bait. Service of Recruit HD. The purpose of the service phase is to detect the presence of subterranean termites or signs of termite activity in Recruit HD to monitor for termites, to aid Recruit HD replacement, and to confirm colony elimination. This procedure does not attract termites from other locations. I'm going to say that again. This procedure does not attract termites from other locations. Recruit HD is inspected manually for detection of termites, termite activity, or to identify the need to replace Recruit HD. If Recruit HD is more than 1/3 depleted, replace it with new Recruit HD. If possible, gently tap the termites from the used Recruit HD into the Sentricon station containing the new Recruit HD, being careful not to injure the termites. Introduce these termites after the new Recruit HD has been installed into the Sentricon station. Sentricon stations containing Recruit HD are inspected and serviced on at least an annual basis. Next, let's look at the Recruit HD SDS. Please note on the page 1 in the top corner the date 05/26/2015. This is the most current SDS. Dow AgroSciences LLC encourages and expects you to read and understand the entire SDS, as there is important information throughout the document. Page 4, Section 8. Obviously, we're not going to read the entire thing. Exposure controls, personal protection recommendations in this section are for manufacturing, commercial blending, and packaging workers. Applicators and handlers should see the product label for proper personal protective equipment and clothing. Well, we've already reviewed the label, and there were no recommendations for personal protective equipment. So you need to take normal precautions to control your exposure to this and any other chemicals. Dow does recommend that you wear disposable gloves when handling Recruit HD bait and the Sentricon stations to avoid any residue that may be on your hands that may discourage termites from going to the stations. Residue from handling other chemicals, smoking, eating, perfumes, soaps, and lotions that can interrupt the self-recruitment and pheromone process. Sentricon stations and monitoring device and Sentricon stations with ESP technology. This is the other handout, the third handout. And go to page number 2. Page 2, Sentricon station placement. Sentricon station should be placed in the soil around the perimeter foundation of the structure. For crawl space areas, the stations can be placed along the inside of the foundation walls. We don't do that, we place them on the outside. Spacing should not exceed 20 feet where soil access is not restricted. Sentricon stations should not be placed in soil treated with pesticides such as lawn applications or perimeter sprays until dried. We learned earlier that it can't be in that area at all, and it has to be 18 inches away from the edge of the foundation. Avoid spraying the Sentricon stations when making pesticide applications. So when you are treating around the outside of one of our homes, don't spray the Sentricon stations. Do not place Sentricon stations in soil previously treated with a liquid termiticide. Do not place Sentricon stations where they will interfere with gardening or lawn maintenance operations such as mowing or irrigation. When possible, it is desirable to avoid public tampering with the Sentricon stations by covering them with soil, mulch, leaf litter, debris, etc., or by placing them in inconspicuous locations where they are not readily visible. Termites may discontinue or avoid foraging in Sentricon stations, which are frequently disturbed. Installation of Sentricon stations. Sentricon stations should be implanted in the soil such that the top soil cover, the soil cover top, is flush with the soil surface. I'm going to say that again. Sentricon stations should be implanted in the soil such that the soil cover top is flush with the soil surface. Not flush with the top of the mulch, flush with the soil surface. For ease, the monitoring device should be placed in and the lid secure at the time of installation. Record the location of the Sentricon stations on a map or graph of the site for future inspection. As with all labels in SDS you receive, replace the old label in SDS in your label book with the revised sheets that you have just received. Measurement guidelines. This is very important. Picture an aerial view of the structure. Enclose the structure with a single continuous line. By tracing the furthest exterior perimeter, usually or typically the roof line, as indicated by the red roof line in this example. If anything extends or protrudes beyond this initial line, like the wooden deck down in the bottom right-hand corner, a decision must be made based on the following criteria. Does the object contain any wood or cellulose components? Well, the wood deck does, but we don't cover wood decks. Is it attached to or part of the structure being protected? Again, the wood deck is attached, but we're not protecting it. Now we need to measure all the way around where that red line is and add them up. 30, 38, 6, 10, 12, 10, 12, 18, 8, 8, 8, 12, and that equals 172 linear feet all the way around this building. You need to draw accurate graphs and make sure the Sentricon stations are listed on the graph. The first station should be placed just right of the front door. That's with you facing the house, as indicated right here. That should be station number 1 on every location. It provides a clear, reliable marking for the start of the maps and the start of the locations of the stations. It is also an area where the homeowner will see it, giving them added comfort that their home is being protected. Place the stations no greater than 20 feet apart. 10 to 12 feet is recommended. So, how much time should be scheduled to install a Sentricon system? Let's assume a 200 linear foot home. That means it would have 20 stations. And we're doing Sentricon only. There's no other spot treatments or anything else needed. To draw the graph, about 10 minutes. To remeasure and recalculate the Sentricon linear footage, which we should be doing every single time, we need to ensure the accuracy and to accurately figure out the number of stations, about 3 minutes. To prepare the stations and number them, about 5 minutes. To scan the stations, which we're not doing right now because our scanners don't scan, we have to write the numbers down, and that takes about 10 minutes. Then we need to install the actual stations, about 25 minutes. And then we need to mark on the graph where the stations are, about 5 minutes. Total time, about 58 minutes. So base the time needed to schedule on the linear footage of the property. Take the linear footage, divide it by 10, then multiply it by 3. And that will give you the time that you need to schedule to install Sentricon only. Now, if we have additional spot treatments, you're going to have to add additional time. So using this chart here, 50 feet, 15 minutes, 200 feet, an hour, 350 minutes, 105 minutes, 400 linear feet would be 2 hours, and so on. In a nutshell, it's 3 minutes per station. You figure out the number of stations, multiply it by 3, that's how much time it's going to take to install a Sentricon system. Cracking of Recruit HD bait is normal and does not affect the integrity or effectiveness of the bait. When should Recruit HD termite bait be replaced? Recruit HD should not be replaced due to coloration differences, mold on the device, or when less than 1/3 of the bait device has been depleted. So the 3 examples on the right hand side, perfectly fine. The top Recruit HD bait device has a crack, should not be replaced. The bottom Recruit HD bait has 1/3 or more gone or depletion of the bait device, and it should be replaced. Look at the Recruit HD bait and the purple extractor from the bottom. Compare the diameter of the remaining bait to the circle at the base of the extractor. The bait is bigger than the extractor. If the bait is smaller than the base, then it's time to replace. In this first case, it's not. The second case, the bait is bigger than the extractor. Do not replace. In the third case, the bait is smaller than the extractor, so we need to replace it. Termites like it gnarly. Aged is appetizing. Cracks are cozy. Moldy is magnificent. Grungy is good. Time to replace. If it's smaller than the base, it's time to replace. There is no benefit to the addition of Gatorade to Recruit HD. There was at one time before, not now. Don't add it. Not needed. How to manage other insects invading Sentricon stations. There are pests other than termites that invade the Sentricon stations. Some of these invaders are detrimental to the Sentricon station's performance, such as ants, while others appear to have minimal effect, such as earthworms. The most common reason for Sentricon station invasion is incorrect installation of the soil cover. Gaps under the soil cover allow entry into the Sentricon station of soil surface dwelling pests. Ants versus termites. The termite is the big one on the bottom, getting attacked by all the little ants. Ants are predators of termites and therefore the most destructive invaders in Sentricon stations. Consider relocating the Sentricon station or try a very light application of ant bait around the Sentricon station. but ensure that the ant bait is not applied within 4 inches of the soil cover. Earthworms do not usually pose a problem and tend not to affect the performance of the Sentricon station. Slugs normally enter under the soil cover cap. If not managed, a Sentricon station can get invaded by a large number of slugs, and this will likely deter termite feeding. Clean out the Sentricon station and ensure the soil cover sits flush with the soil surface. Again, not with the surface of the mulch, the soil. You may have to dig down a little bit. So, how much time should be scheduled to check a Sentricon system? To be determined. Look for an updated slide later. Ain't going there today. How long will Recruit HD termite bait last? The bait is highly desirable and has been designed to last for years. Field studies indicate that even in the toughest of environments, it will last for years. Should I replace the bait if it is moldy? Do not replace Recruit HD termite bait for this reason. In studies, Recruit HD termite bait was exposed to brown rot or white rot and then tested in the laboratory for termite consumption and mortality. Results show that Recruit HD termite bait is highly durable against these fungi, even with long-term exposure. Termite control was obtained with Recruit HD bait regardless of if the bait was exposed to wood rot or if the bait was new. What if it's cracked? Again, do not replace Recruit HD termite bait for this reason. Cracking is normal and does not affect the bait's effectiveness. What if the bait gets wet? Results from a study on flooded Sentricon termite colony elimination system stations show that there was no potential for the active ingredient novaflumaron to leach from Recruit HD termite bait. The study confirmed that novaflumaron is stable in the highly durable matrix, preventing further movement into the environment. When the Sentricon station dries out, termites return to the bait in the Sentricon station. Bait remains palatable and viable. What if a homeowner's dog accidentally chews on the bait? Studies show that novaflumaron has low acute mammalian toxicity, so it should have no effect on a dog. Customers should call to replace the Sentricon station. Then call a dog trainer. Canceled sites. It is very important to remove bait from canceled sites. Again, it is very important to remove bait from canceled sites. Recruit HD is durable, and when left at the site, it will continue to provide structural protection. We will always fill in the hole if we remove the station with dirt. Get a bag of dirt from Lowe's. It's $1.50. Why is it called always active? Sentricon stations around the home are always baited with Recruit HD termite bait. The bait remains in all the Sentricon stations all the time, offering consistent property protection for peace of mind. Termites can begin feeding on it as soon as they find a Sentricon station, then share the bait with other termites to begin the colony elimination process. What about its effect on the environment? The Sentricon system won the Presidential Green Chemistry Challenge Award. This national environmental award recognizes technical innovation that's environmentally responsible. Sentricon minimizes environmental exposure by design, and it can be removed if desired. It was the first product registered under the Reduced Risk Pesticide Initiative of the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Will there be a big mess during installation? No. Sentricon is much less disruptive to buildings and landscaping than other termite treatments. With Sentricon, there is no drilling in floors or foundations, no trenching around the home, no chemical tank trucks, and no scheduling hassles. The customer doesn't even need to be present for installation and service. Basically, no mess at all. Anyone who sells or services Sentricon must successfully complete the Sentricon System University online course. If you have not completed this training already, you need to contact me, Lauren@clarkspest.com. I'll get you signed up. And remember, the training takes about 3 to 5 hours, but it does not have to be done all at one time. Sentricon, death to the Queen. This concludes your Sentricon training.